Hey everyone, welcome back to my video. It is me again in the same hair, the same shirt, just a different location. I have been editing my videos that will be going up before I go to Lexington. I didn't want you to miss out on my September wrap-up or my October TBR, so I wanted to get those taken care of. And this morning, while drinking my coffee, which my brother got me this mug, how wonderful is it? And also my October TBR is right there. I have been watching some of my favorite booktubers, and one of them, which I will link her video down below, but she had her boyfriend pick out 3 books during a week of reading that she would have to read. Now, any book that he picked up, and so I guess he's not much of a reader, which my husband is definitely not a reader as well. He has read some books before, but he doesn't read. He's a gamer, so he likes to game. So I thought that was pretty fun. I was talking to him this morning. He's at work, and I was just telling him about this concept and how fun it would be. And he was like, well, let's do it. And I said, well, I can't read 3 books in a week. But he said, how about let's do 2? And I said, 2 is probably doable. So this is my first vlog. I'm pretty excited for that. You get to see little parts of my house, probably me with no makeup and my hair up because I'm going to give you updates throughout the week. But I'm pretty excited. So as soon as he gets off of work, we are going to head, he donates plasma twice a week, to help out with that. So we're going to go do that. I'm going to do the Walmart shopping. We're going to stop back at the house, drop off our stuff, and then we're going to head to the bookstore. I don't know what books he's going to pick out. I don't even know if he knows what genres I read. So this is going to be interesting. I told him to pick out probably a few because if I've already read the books, I, obviously don't need to read them again. So I'm going to let him know, hey, you need to pick out a different book. So this is going to be fun. You'll get to meet my husband for the first time. He is not one to talk on camera, so this is going to be extremely fun. So I'm so happy that that the booktuber that I love to watch gave me the inspiration for this. So it's definitely not original content, but I'm definitely gonna piggyback off of that because I couldn't resist. My husband was all for it, and if I got to get 2 new books out of this, I'm so excited. So we'll wait for him to get off of work. I am going to finish my coffee, finish the editing of my videos today, get those scheduled and uploaded so I don't forget about them. And then I've already got the cleaning done. So once we get done with the book shopping, I get to just sit around and read all day. So this is an exciting Saturday, so I can't wait. Definitely let me know if you like the books that he picks out in the future because we haven't gotten there yet. And then also check out some of my videos. My September wrap-up was put up on Tuesday of last week. You have my October reads that came out on Saturday, which I would be in Authors in the Bluegrass when that one goes out. So pretty excited. Can't wait. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, so we have made it to Books A Million because my city is not fortunate enough to have a Barnes & Noble, so Books A Million it is. So here's my husband, John.
Hi, everybody. Nice to see you or talk to you.
So anyway, we are going to go in there, and he is going to pick me out 2 books. I have no idea what he's going to pick, but I will tell him no if he starts grabbing a book that is one that I already have read, so that way he doesn't waste his time. So how do you feel about it?
I've already been told self-help books are out of the way, so there's that.
Okay, so let's go on in here and see what we have going. So what did you just say?
I said, I think I know a book that I want you to read.
But you haven't found it yet.
Not yet. I'm looking in the right place.
Okay. Do you want me to help you or no?
Sure.
What are you looking for?
The Lord of the Rings.
Oh my goodness, I have not read that.
I know. It's amazing that it's 2022 and I found the one person on this earth that has not read or watched anything Lord of the Rings.
Okay, well, let's go find it. Okay, I have helped him locate Lord of the Rings.
That's the two powers. You can't start with that one.
Okay, which one? Is that the first one?
That is, well, it's not The Hobbit, but yes, in the Fellowship series.
So you think I should start with that one instead of The Hobbit?
If you like this one, you can go back and read The Hobbit.
Okay. All right, so here is the first book. All right. All right, on to the next. So we've already had to bypass a couple because I've already read them. On a side note, I do not like these new covers. They're ugly. I mean, I had my Twilight days, right? But these are ugly. Why would they do that?
It looks like this is a series, I'm not sure which one comes first.
It's the bad thing about series. You never know which one's first. I think it is a series, considering that there is a marker for this author, and there's all of her books. And I've never heard of her. These are so cute. These little minis. They're so cool. I wish I had the money to buy them. But 15 bucks a pop. Is that the first book in a series?
I believe so. Yep, I think this might be a winner.
Okay, so what is it?
It's called Forbidden House. Very vague and intriguing.
Okay, so we have Forbidden, and we have Lord of the Rings. Okay, here we go.
These are the stupidest things in the world.
I want that so bad.
Happy sex. Happy sex.
You always know when to approach me.
I don't think this is going to tell me exactly how to approach you.
Someone tell me when they came out with a white version of Twilight. Have I missed something? Too bad it's still not my phase, though. I ended up getting a third book because I wanted it. There it is. Long live the Pumpkin Queen. He's gaming. And I'm diving into Lord of the Rings. I'm on page 18. I got through the prologue. I got a sleepy dog, sleepy cat. I'm just gonna read. Okay, so it is the next day, and I have started in on Lord of the Rings. I am only 45 pages in. I have just finished chapter 1. It was quite interesting. I ended up having to buy the audiobook because I was getting a little lost, because I love fantasy, but it's a different type of fantasy, so it was harder for me to consume. So Bilbo has left after his 111th birthday. Frodo is 33, so he apparently inherited everything of Bilbo and Bag's End and Bag End, or whatever it's called. You meet Gandalf, which I've heard some of the famous phrases, like "you shall not pass" and things like that, but that's about all that I know about Lord of the Rings. I will say that I thought it was hilarious how Bilbo does his speeches, and then at the very end he's like, "and I'm off right now, goodbye," and he just vanishes. And at first I was like, what is going on? It was just a very weird interaction. But then whenever Gandalf meets with him back in his hole or whatever it's called, it was kind of funny and I was laughing. So anyway, I don't like those two hobbits that were absolutely mean to Frodo about how they only got spoons. I don't remember their name because that's how much I cared. But I'm pretty excited. I told my husband that I hope in this book we find out why Gandalf won't touch the ring. Also, I'm assuming now that I'm in chapter 2 that we're going to start seeing progression of the ring and that story. And I know that they go to try to destroy it. I do know that is the ultimate thing, but we shall see. I am going to keep reading today. It is Sunday, the day after we got it. I'm hoping I can get at least halfway through, maybe more. I have found that consuming it with the audiobook and the physical while I'm reading it is a lot more enjoyable for me, and I'm able to retain a lot of it. So pretty excited. I will update you later today on how far I get. So here we go. This is a thing every time we're outside. I'm not quite sure why, but this is a thing that we do now. She's been doing this since we moved in. Are you done, Callie? Hey everyone, so it is Tuesday. I know I didn't update anyone yesterday. It was our wedding anniversary, so we ended up just having some dinner, watching a movie, and kind of having a night in. But I did finish Lord of the Rings. So this book was good. I'm happy that I read it. I'm happy that I got to have the experience. The problem that I had was the writing style, which, isn't the normal writing style that I usually read, and it was really slow for most of the book. I want to say by the time it got to the book 2 part, maybe 3 or 4 chapters in, at that point where towards the end we're finally going on the adventure, we're finally going to Mount Doom, and it started getting good, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I had told my husband, I said, I'm just really struggling trying to understand the story a little bit because there's a lot of walking and then talking, and there really wasn't a whole lot of action. And every time it seemed they would mention something, at one point Frodo had said that he'd give anything to see Bilbo again, and then all of a sudden Bilbo's there. And so I was struggling a little bit about it, but for the most part I really enjoyed it. And then last night my husband put on the first movie, so I watched that, and I definitely got to see how the book was different in a sense, because there was a lot more in depth, this is why, or this is what happened, or different things like that, where in the movie there was a lot of things that were added that were not in the book, like whenever Gandalf sees Frodo after the whole Bilbo incident on his birthday. Gandalf leaves and you see him go to the library and do the research on the ring and like actually find out that it is in fact the One Ring. And in the book you don't get that, right? You don't get that context. You don't get the context of, you know, different aspects. Like there was a part that was in the book that was not in the movie. I want to say I've been calling him um, Bilbador, but that is not what his name is. I'm trying to get to it. It was actually pretty good, but anyway, I can't find his name. I keep calling him Bilbador. It's not his name, but you know, in the book, he helps Frodo and he helps Merry, Pippin, and Sam, and that's not in the movie. So there was some correlations where I was like, that's not in the movie or that's not in the book. And I understand movies can't be the same thing, you know, but in the book, you get a lot more context, right? Like, you know, Merry and Pippin start out from the actual Shire, like from day one, being with Frodo and Sam, where in the movie, they come across Merry and Pippin later on before they leave the Shire. So, you know, I really liked it. And the one thing that I did like is I really didn't like Merry and Pippin's characters in the book because they were just very serious, very like, you know, all of that. But in the movie, they gave me a lot of like, you know, laughter and comedy. So I'm very happy I read this. I told my husband that I actually am going to read, I think it's called The Two Towers, which is the second book. And then I don't remember what the third one's called, but I want to read the second book first. And then I want to watch the second movie and, you know, read the third book and then watch the third movie because I really liked seeing the different scenes that were cut in and out from both. But I also really liked the books because the books really gave me a lot more in depth about the characters and about, you know, what is going on and different things like that. So I'm pretty happy that I read it. Thank you, hubby, for that. So my next book, which is called Forbidden, I did start it earlier on my lunch. I'm currently on my lunch from work, and I'm only one chapter in. It is YA, so it is a lot younger because she is in high school, and I'm pretty excited. At first, looking at the book, it looked like a horror book, so I was scared. But it looks like she actually has like angel wings on her back. So I'm wondering if this is like an angel, you know, type book, but we will see. I am planning on reading some more tonight. So hopefully either I will update you later tonight or at least tomorrow on my lunch. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited. The husband did, you know, really good with this one. I'm very happy that I can now say that I've read Lord of the Rings and that I do know what's going on. And I'm pretty excited to continue this series. So if he never would have picked it, I probably would have never picked it up. I'll be very honest with that. So I'm pretty happy. And plus, it gives us something that we can talk about because he's read the books, he's watched the movies. He's actually currently watching. It's on Amazon Prime, The Rings of Power, I think is what it's called. So maybe I'll end up watching that after I get through the next two books and the two movies and then the Hobbit book and the Hobbit movie. And then I'll watch The Rings of Power because I'm pretty excited. I really like fantasy. So anyway, guys, I will update you later on. Today is Tuesday. We leave Friday to go to Authors in the Bluegrass. So I have today, tomorrow, and Thursday to get through that book, which I honestly think by tomorrow night I'll be done with it. But I'm pretty excited. So hope you all have a good day. I'll talk to you soon. Okay, so update Tuesday night. I have been reading this book, been letting my hair dry, so, you know, getting ready for bed. And this book is really good. It so far, what I have gathered is Claire is our female main character. Her mom has been bouncing around, every few years, and she doesn't have any roots kind of, put down, and she wants to stay until the end of high school, which I don't blame her. Then enter Alec Mackenzie. He is from Scotland. You don't know much about him yet, as far as I'm in. But what I do know is something crazy happened whenever she was trying to get into her locker and he was going to help her. And all of a sudden, some crazy force or, like muscles that he has just like broke her locker, so now she's using his. So I really like how this is setting up. I don't think that I told you how the back of it says, but it's, Claire wants to attend Emerson Academy for, the rest of her high school. Alec Mackenzie is fed up with his duties to watch and, when necessary, eliminate the descendants of his angelic forefathers. He chose Emerson as the ideal hiding place, but he hadn't factored Claire into his plans. So, something with Claire. Does she have angelic powers? I don't know. Probably, considering, the next part. Their love is forbidden, going against everything Alec has been taught to believe. But when the reason behind Claire's unusual powers are revealed and the threat to her life becomes clear, how far will Alec go to protect her? So this is going to be a classic YA paranormal romance. Claire is 16, so of course I highly doubt there's any spice in this, but it is a series, so I'm pretty excited. I will say, as of right now, my husband picked 2 really good picks. I know The Lord of the Rings was a hit for me, which I'll do my wrap up at the end of this video on that for my final thoughts, but back to the Forbidden, or just Forbidden, I'm not sure. I can't wait. It's Tuesday night. I'm hoping I can get done by Thursday, so then I can just go ahead and get this video edited and put up for Tuesday, since I am leaving Friday morning for Lexington, Kentucky for Authors in the Bluegrass. So we will see, but it's a hit so far. Hello everyone, welcome back. So it is Thursday. I am holding you up right here because I don't have my stand with me because I already have it packed away. We're going to Authors in the Bluegrass tomorrow morning. So we're getting everything tidied up, put into the car. We're leaving like at 5 a.m. So probably in a few hours, I'm going to end up going to bed, getting ready to go on that. So don't mind my hair or anything else because it has been a wild day. But I am pretty excited to let you both know, or let you all know, that both of the books that my husband picked out for me were actually pretty good. I feel like they're winners in my eyes. I was really excited because I couldn't wait to see what he was going to pick. He's not a huge book reader. He's not someone that, keeps up with like book talk and all of that. He has read Lord of the Rings. He has read Hunger Games. He's read a few more books, but not entirely a lot. So I was really excited for this experiment because I didn't know what exactly. Well, bless you. My cat was having a heyday there. I was really excited to see what he's going to pick out for me, because, like I said, he doesn't keep up with any of that. And I was very, very pleased with him. So the very first book was Lord of the Rings. He said that he wanted me to start with this one and not The Hobbit because he said that if I liked this book and continued reading the trilogy, that I could go back and read The Hobbit and it would be a lot better. So I took his word for it. I read through this in probably a day. I was actually pretty shocked because it's pretty big and the words on the pages are tiny. So I was pretty excited that I flew through it that quickly. I really enjoyed it. I had a hard time keeping up with the story a little bit because it was a lot of traditional fantasy, right? So it was like a lot of walking and a lot of talking. There really wasn't a whole lot of action or anything else going on. You did meet a few characters along the way. I got to meet Sam and Merry and Pippin. And then I don't remember what the Hobbit's name is that they met, that saved them, underneath the tree. But I call him Bilbador. I don't remember what his name is, but it's always going to be Bilbador for me. So you meet him, and then of course you meet everyone else later on, like Aragon and Legolas, and all of these names that I've heard for years but never knew because I've never watched the movies either. So pretty excited. I felt like for me it took until probably the last like third of the book for me to really get into it. I was struggling for a while. I mean, I was very invested in the story. I loved hearing about Frodo and I loved hearing about Bilbo and, just people along the way. But I found myself getting bored because the story I really felt like wasn't progressing. And the one thing that I found really weird with this book is there were a few times that Frodo or whatever would say something and then magically poof, the next scene it was there. So, like, for instance, they're at the inn or whatever, and someone asked Frodo, a question, and Frodo said, I would give anything to see Bilbo again. I don't remember the exact words that he said, but all of a sudden, I just felt like the next paragraph, Bilbo was there, and I'm just like, I understand that, the characters are significant in certain parts of the book, but, build it up a little bit. Don't make it seem like they say something and then it's just going to happen, because then it's making me feel like whatever they say is just going to happen. And I just have that expectation, and I know that that's not what's going to happen. So that's where I had an issue. It was a different writing style. It was a different era when this was read, so it wasn't like, it was a fault of the author or anything. It's just, a different writing style that I'm used to. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I'm actually pretty shocked about that. And the one thing that I really enjoyed was our anniversary was Monday, our wedding anniversary. And so I made dinner. We were just going to have a night in together, maybe play some video games. We like playing games together. And all of a sudden, I was talking to him about, this book and how it wrapped up and the things I liked and, things that I struggled with. And then he put on the first book, the first movie of the book. And basically, we just sat there and we watched it. And I really loved it because there were things in the movie that weren't in the book. There were things in the book that weren't in the movie. So I felt like reading this first and then watching it really kind of put it all together for me. I really got an in-depth, perspective on all accounts, because there was a lot more in-depth in the book. But I really liked how the movie played it out and, added in a few scenes that kind of really tied a lot of stuff together. So really enjoyed it. I plan on reading the next book and then watching the movie afterwards, and then reading the third book and watching the movie. And then, I may go back and read The Hobbit. I don't know if I'm going to really want to. I don't think I'm that invested in the world. But book 2 and 3 can change my mind. So we shall see. But I'm really excited because this kind of gives me and my husband a chance to talk about, something that we both have read, both have watched, and both actually enjoy. So pretty excited for that. So then the next book, I was worried because whenever he picked this out, it looked like a horror book, honestly, from the cover of it. But whenever I started looking at it, it's not a horror book. And it's actually a YA paranormal romance, which I don't read a ton of YA. Okay. YA to me is, where they are, like in high school or, something like that. I do read some YA that's where they're upper teens, where they're 18, 19, and it's a little less, adultish. But this one is called Forbidden. And I think it's by a mother and son, Siri James and Ryan James. I think it is a mother and son. So this book, you are following Claire. She is, I know I didn't tell you about Lord of the Rings. I'm so sorry about that. But this one is where you are following Claire, and she has always grown up where her mother like bounces them around, always rushes them to pack up and move because there's always like some threat that she's trying to keep her daughter safe from, and her daughter has no idea what she's talking about. And she is at this school. It's called Emerson Academy. It's supposed to be like a very elite school. She has a scholarship. She has to keep her GPA up a certain amount. And she is 16. And she has been there for 2 years, so she's dreading that her mother is going to just uproot her and move her again. And she's just wanting to get through this high school. She wants to make friends. And then she talks about how she really wants, a guy to look at her and like her. She's never been on a date. She's never had a boyfriend. She's never had any of that. And she's very smart. But then in comes Alec Mackenzie, and he is Scottish, and he is, a new student here at Emerson Academy. And, whenever she meets him, they start talking and everything, her and her friend group, and, kind of like bring him in, even though he seems like he's wanting to be a loner, more of an introvert. He ends up breaking her locker on the very first day, and so they end up sharing a locker together. So you can kind of see where this is going, like first couple of chapters. I clearly he's going to be the love interest, all of this. But, as you're going through this book, I was addicted. I did not expect that. I was reading it. I read the synopsis and I was like, I'm not going to like this. I've kind of outgrown this type of book. I've read this type of, tropes and everything 1,000 times. I already know what's going to happen. And it actually shocked me in certain parts because I was like, whoa, I didn't expect that to happen. Or, oh, here comes a twist that I did not see. So it really was good. I really enjoyed it. It was wrote back in 2012, so it's an older book. It, has some things that you could probably correlate to the Fallen series by Lauren Kate. And there's a few other books, that came out around the early 2010s and late 2000s that you could probably tie in together where it may have gotten some inspiration from. There are some Twilight references in here, which is hilarious. I laughed through most of this because her friend Erica is quite hilarious. And she has a friend Brian as well. And they both bring that comedic relief, and I absolutely adored it. And then I went on because I was like, I gotta read the second book. Like, clearly my husband had to pick out a series that I was just gonna want to read. And so I found out that the second one is called Beholden, I believe, and it just came out this year. So that's 10 years that it took for the second book to come out. And so now I'm a little scared because I'm like, I don't want to be invested in this and read book 2 and love it and end on a cliffhanger and then have to wait 10 more years for another book. It's good, but it is not that good. I would probably do that for Sarah J. Maas. Okay, I love her. I love everything about her books. Some people might disagree whenever you watch this video. That's okay. We can love different types of books. But this book I really liked. I'm going to give it 3 stars because although I had a good time and I read it so quickly because I loved the story, it was very cliche in a lot of parts. It was very, oh, here we go again, another typical book in this genre. So I really liked it. The writing in here seemed at times, like where it could be upper YA, and then other times where I felt like it was lower YA. So, it definitely was kind of all over that YA spectrum, which is not bad. It's just not something that I like. If you are going to write an upper YA book, keep it upper YA. Don't keep flip flopping back and forth and being like, okay, well, it's going to be upper YA for 6 chapters, and then we're going to throw a chapter in there that seems lower YA. So that's just how I felt. Not bad at all. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to read the second one. But I am so happy that I went on this journey with my husband. I told him that he is 2 for 2 on pretty good books that I really enjoyed, and that he's going to have to do this more often. So maybe every 3 or 6 months, I'll get him back into the bookstore, which he absolutely hates going into, and getting him to pick me out 2 more books. However, I don't really want to do it too often, because then he's the type of guy, he's very smart. He's going to start getting on Book Talk. He's going to start paying attention to my videos. He's going to start doing his research. And, I really enjoyed just the fact that he knew nothing going into this. He just knew what genres I liked. I told him kind of just stay on the left sides of books a million, because on the right side is nothing I'm going to read. So he did that. So I kind of directed him in, half of the store. So I knew that I would get something that possibly I would enjoy, but I did not expect for him to throw it out of the park, honestly. So I don't really want to do it too often, although I do kind of want to, because I want to see what he'd pick out next time. I don't want, that to be the case where, he's like, oh, look, here is the new Sarah J. Maas book. And I'm like, no, you can't do that. And then it just would ruin the fun. So we'll see if we do it again. But I enjoyed it. He not so much enjoyed it. But what he did enjoy is me reading Lord of the Rings and then watching the movie with him and just talking with him about it. So he enjoyed that. And I think he really enjoyed the fact that I was reading Forbidden, and I was loving it, absolutely loving it. And I would tell him every single day, babe, you picked out a good book. And I think he enjoyed that. So anyway, I hope you both, or everybody, loved my vlog. This is my first time ever attempting this. I'm going to try different things next time. I may show you, my animals more often, or what me and my husband do on a day-to-day basis as, I'm reading, and how I work that into my time, because I work 2 jobs. I run an author services over on Instagram, and then I do this booktube channel. So I'll show you how I work it in, plus being able to enjoy my time with my friends, and play some video games, and do things like that. So if you enjoyed it, please like this video. Let me know in the comments below what you would like to see more of. Do you want me to go through my shelves, because I definitely need to do a destash sometime? Do you want me to do that? Do you want me to reorganize my shelves? Do you want to see what I just have? Do you want to see my animals and what I do on a day-to-day basis? Just let me know. I'm up for anything. I want to have you enjoy my channel just as much as I enjoy talking to you about books and everything books in this world. So if you liked it, again, like the video, subscribe to my channel, comment below what you want to see more of. See the description box. You can hit me over on Instagram, talk to me on there, follow me. My author services is on there. Sometimes we have arcs, sometimes we have giveaways going on, and then follow me on Goodreads if you want to follow my reviews. But until next time, everyone, I hope you have a great day. Bye!